4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
This is a journey into sound.
I hear voices in my head.
George, you see, Julie and I have a very open...
Music, please.
I hear voices in my head. They counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Roger, copy.
Stand by for all of this and more.
This one's explosive.
Welcome, truth seekers, para-freakers. We're your sick paranormal podcasting truth casters. Tonight we're bringing to life something which cannot be put into words, yet cannot remain silent. The supernatural.
Welcome to yet another edition of Talk Supernatural Radio. I'm Heidi Linden. And who are you?
Bob.
And Bob. Tell them who you really are.
Scott.
Oh, gosh. Tonight we're going to be letting our experiences speak for themselves. This is our first installment of 5 of our Halloween or October series.
And I'm excited. I am pumped. I'm jacked. Because we're going to get the chance to interact with our worldwide listeners.
Worldwide. That's true.
And there might be somebody on Mars, but I doubt it.
Oh, well, there's water on Mars. That's what they
Yeah,
said.
that's what they said.
Yeah, so there could be life on Mars.
Yeah.
Now, you never know.
If you're thirsty.
Yeah. If you're thirsty, head over to Mars.
Well, you get out of the planet, you're like, wow, I really could go for a glass of water. Hey, if I'm on my way to Jupiter, I'll just stop at Menards and get myself a glass of water.
That is definitely a plan,
Just
Scott.
thought.
Well, just because we get so many emails asking questions, I thought we'd do another paranormal Q&A show for October. If you're listening live...
Q&A is question and answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're so smart.
I know.
You are.
I just, there may be somebody who don't know.
That's true. Well, I thought we'd do another one because everybody seemed to like it so much.
This would be like the second one then.
Yeah.
Because if you had one and this is another one, that's
It'd be
two.
two. Wow, you're smart.
I know.
If you're listening live and you want to chime in, please do. You can click on the...
If you're listening dead, good luck.
What'd you say?
You said listening live. What, are you going to be listening dead?
Oh,
Of course they're alive. You can't listen if you're dead.
all you got to do is click on the little chat bubble icon in your radio play widget, and you can type us your question or comment. Or you can tweet us at TSR Parapod. We got a lot of emails. In fact, I know I told everybody we'd be able to get to everything, but I don't think we're going to be able to get to all the emails that we got
Which ones?
for the show.
The newest ones that you didn't tell me about?
Well, I told you. I said we got a lot of emails. And you said,
you didn't
surprise
read them to me?
You told me not to. You said, surprise me. So,
Switch yourself then.
yeah. So, but we also have some paranormal headlines that we can cover too. So, things we often experience seem natural, but there's supernatural too, right?
Like me.
In addition to our 5 senses, it's often called paranormal because it's a part of normalcy, but you notice like the normal people don't experience it.
That's right. Peasants. People live in a world they choose to believe is reality. But you and I both know, and most of our listeners, there is something more.
That's a very powerful statement, Scott.
Yes.
Bob. Sorry.
Bob.
Bob.
I like Bob. You know why?
Why?
Spelled the same backwards.
So is poop.
Ew.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Well, because so is poop. You said Bob. And poop is
Yeah,
backwards.
but
Do you ever
poop's
notice
got like
that the
a
word
whole extra letter.
and the
It's like
word
4.
bed looks like a bed? Do you ever notice that when you write the word bed?
Oh, yeah. It's got the headboard and the footboard.
Pretty weird.
Wow.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Oh. Well, the supernatural has a realm that is much more real. It's just not as brightly lit. People get scared and they don't want to explore it. So they either assume what's there, or they ignore it, or they deny it. And then there's people like us and our listeners who embrace it.
Yes. Well, Heidi, let's get into some of the news that you can't deny.
Not only are you doing the voice, but you're giving me the brow and the look. It's so
It
serious.
goes with the voice.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
I know the listeners love to see the eyebrow.
They do.
The people's eyebrow.
Yeah, but they can't see it. They only can hear
They
it.
can, but they're sixth sense.
Okay. So we got a little para-event scam going on, possibly, again. So I'm giving everybody a heads up. So,
A scam in this country? Oh, stop.
I know. So Ryan Daniel, and I think his last name's Buell. He's the former star of Paranormal State. He allegedly scammed perhaps hundreds of thousands of dollars from ticket holders a few years ago. He is now holding a new paranormal event. And so I'm just giving everybody a heads up of what he did the first time around, just in case you haven't heard about it and you end up buying into it and he scams people again. So days before the event, it was a few years ago, so days before the event happened, he cancels and gives no refunds to any of the fans. I guess he said that there were scheduling conflicts, but people called the venues that, were having it, and they never even got deposits from this guy. Some people had spent like $150 to $400.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he came out on Facebook saying he had cancer and that was his health that was an issue, not the scheduling conflicts or both. And people were feeling bad for the guy. And, then he said, well, I'm in remission. But then come to find out more than $80,000 was gained for this paranormal event.
Wow.
And no one knows where the money went.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So, and he also said he worked as a freelance writer for the Huffington Post, but they said he didn't. So this guy isn't really legit with a lot of stuff. So if you're considering doing his paranormal event, really check into it before you buy anything. So, because some people...
But you can listen to us for free.
Yeah, you can.
And it's an event, all right.
It's something. So, do you know who? You probably don't, because we don't watch the news often just because it's full of such junk.
Well, we watched it last night. It was like, oh, man.
Well, we watch international news to find out what's going on with the wars and the volcanoes and, all that
Floods
stuff.
and all that stuff. And it was
Shootings.
just like, wow. Another death, another murder, another killing, another
like
flood.
nothing good.
It's like, okay, well, that's about enough of that. Let's go to bed.
Yeah, real heavy stuff to go to bed to. Well, here's a story on the spiritual side. Michael McCarthy, okay? So let me you don't know about him, and I know the story, so I'll tell you. So, okay, just picture this before the story. He has seizures, okay? He's got a lot of seizures. He even has this little special dog that he has for his seizures. He's obsessed with the occult, and he talks about these visions he has of a demon with horns and a long lizard tail, which we both know is just like textbook for the devil, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what he looks like. So in June, now side story here, in June, Baby Doe's body was washed up on Deer Island shore. She come to be a 2-year-old Bella Bond, okay? That was her name. After a longtime friend of Michael McCarthy's came forward, come to find out he had killed this little girl, which is very sad. So he was telling people that his living girlfriend's toddler daughter was filled with demons, okay? And his dog that he had for the seizures, he said this dog could sense that Bella was a demon and constantly barked at her. He talked of a vision in which the girl came to him sleepwalking and then got up to put her back to bed only to imagine her again. So she really wasn't sleepwalking. He said she was. So it was like I guess a supernatural kind of thing going on. Ultimately, he punched this 2-year-old to death and killed her.
Boy.
Yeah. And then he stuffed her body in the apartment refrigerator and later tossed her into the harbor. So it's very, very harsh. But the reason I'm telling this story is because of all the demonic stuff that he talks about. So let's see if there might be something going on here. So after the death of his mother in 2013, okay, he started getting really depressed. He was wearing the same clothes every day. He rarely showered. He had really long hair and got, greasy and gross. He smelled. Friends said that he would challenge them with their faith, like Christian faith, with his demonology, saying that he could communicate with the dead. And friends of him said...
So you can communicate with the dead. It's easy. You just may not communicate back.
That's true. Anybody can communicate with the dead. Try to. His friend said that he never shut up about demons. And he told his friends a story how his dog was hit by a car and the dog was revived by a sorcerer he knew who summoned these black beads out of the dog. Now, it's interesting only because I used to practice a lot of stuff, and I know that when it comes to things like that, with animals dying and stuff, black beads are involved, and it also has a lot to do with voodoo. So I don't know what knowledge this guy had, but either he's on the up and up, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something more to this than him just being a psycho killer.
Well, for anybody to let themselves go to want to actually smell and stuff, it's like, yeah, there's something going on. I mean, people can put on a facade and a face and say all kinds of stuff, but if they're to the point where they're let themselves smell and not bathe and not do all that stuff, then that's it takes a lot. I mean, you know, even after one day's worth of work, I know you get pretty dirty. I can't imagine going for a period of time not changing your clothes and ill.
Yeah, well, he's caught. You know, he was obviously caught, and he's in jail now, and we'll see what's going to happen, because she was in the harbor for months before they figured out who she was, only because his friend came forward. But another thing that I thought you'd find was interesting was that he constantly claimed that the time was 11:11, even when it wasn't. Like, the friends would say it was 4:44, or, you know, just a regular time, and he'd say it's 11:11, and it wasn't, which is really weird.
We've had a lot of experience with 11:11. We still don't have a full answer as to why.
That would be a neat show.
It would be. It's,
because
I'd like to hear from people what their thoughts are on this, because I don't have anything foundationally solid to say this is what it means. I don't know, but I know that we see it a lot, and it's odd to see it sometimes when we look at one clock and say, oh, it's 11:11. Okay, all right, that happens. But then you look at another clock a minute later when you already know what time it is, and the other clock's off by a minute, and it's 11:11 still. You're like, all right, that's just...
Well, there's times that I'll see 11:11 3-4 times in the day. Everybody's like, well, it doesn't turn 11:11 that many times. But what I mean is, like, I'll see it, like you said, a clock could be off, or there could be a timer for something else. I've seen it on, like, a license plate, just really weird stuff. 11:11. And for those of you who don't know, Scott and I have this little 11:11 thing because I saw it my whole life, like, all the time. And when we were dating, I told him about it. And he was just like, okay, what's the big deal? Like, I don't get it. And I was just like, it means something. And he's like, okay. Next thing you know, he's seeing it all the time. And it's just weird. And there's a whole story with our church about 11:11 too. Yeah. I mean, it's just so weird. So I don't know. There's definitely something spiritual. I just don't know. And so and it's all over the internet. I mean, everybody's got their own, you know, idea of what it is.
Thoughts and stuff. And it's one of those things that are...
So, you know, I really believe that there is something spiritual. You know, when someone says, oh, the devil made me do it, and you can tell that obviously it's just a stupid excuse. But this guy was already obsessed with demons and the occult and all kinds of weird stuff beforehand. For him to say she was plagued with demons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Very strange.
I don't know.
Okay, so that's... all I have for the news, because I ran out of time researching. We have so much news.
The news is over.
Because we had so many emails, I was trying to filter through some of them.
Filter through the emails.
Some of the questions were the same, so I would just take, like, the shorter version of the...
You took the easier road.
Well, it was the same question.
You took the easier road.
Yeah, well, you took the easier road because you didn't do any of it. So there. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Lights are still on. I mean, someone went to work today.
I was working really hard.
Yeah.
And I was leaving the lights on. So,
yeah, I know. Give me something to work for.
All right. So our first question here. You two...
It's from Tara in Texas.
Tara?
Or TX.
TX. I think that means Texas.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure. You two seem to know so much. So why did the chicken cross the road? That's a stupid question. I'm like reading it like it's going to be all serious.
It's an old...
And I'm like, oh.
It's to get to the other side. Everybody knows that.
Why do we have to pick on the chicken? Why do we always have to care what the chicken does? Why can't we just leave him alone?
Well, why did the stupid chicken want to cross the road? But he wanted to get to the other side. There's no other reason.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't know the chicken. Yeah. I just think it's... You know, I don't know. I don't care.
I do.
I don't. Well, Scott knows that answer, and I just say everybody just needs to leave the darn chicken alone. Just let him cross the road. Why do you have to know what he's doing all the time? Why do you got to get his head? God.
Small head. Don't take long.
All right. Phoebe Heller. Oh, I think I accidentally missed where she's from. Sorry, Phoebe. You two crack me up. I love listening to your show. Are you guys like this off the mic, too?
No, this is all a facade. We're probably some of the most serious people you'll ever meet.
Scott's an insurance agent, and I'm a librarian.
Yeah, right, brother.
No, what you hear is what you get. Definitely. Yeah.
There's those of us, those people who know us personally, and and they're like, people ask them, are they like that all the time? And they're like, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're here podcasting Friday nights, because our friends can't handle us. So while they're out having fun.
Don't invite the Lindens.
Yeah.
It's like that one commercial with that guy, I forgot what it was. Was it pizza commercial or something? It's like, can we invite so-and-so? Oh, no. Don't invite that guy.
Oh, it's a football thing with the
football thing.
Cheez-Its or whatever.
Whatever, he's throwing them all over the
he's
place.
But he's good luck, so they want him there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, our friends call us when their house is haunted. Tell you that. Okay, so you want to read the next one?
If your house is haunted, how can you for sure tell if it's a ghost or a demon? I've answered this question a lot of times, and...
Well, not everybody listens to every episode. We got a lot of
You
episodes.
ask them.
What? You ask? No, you don't talk to the
You
spirits.
say, hey, are you a ghost or a demon?
Well, if it's a demon, it's going to lie, and you don't talk to ghosts or spirits. So you don't ask
Well, there shoots
them.
that idea.
You're supposed to be helping these people, not digging up a deeper hole.
This is a tough thing. This takes some investigation and stuff to figure it out, because a ghost or a left behind soul or whatever it is going to be very limited in what they can do.
Right.
But a demon can portray itself the same way for a long time, feeding you, get you to start talking to it, answering it, doing things, manipulating you. So it can be tough if you don't know.
Well, I think, too, there's different levels of demons, too.
Yes.
So
There's
often...
short ones, and there's fat ones, and tall ones.
I think that because there's different levels, they do different things. They interact differently. They affect people differently. So a lot of them, people will mistake for a ghost. And I think when you have... And I am not the right person to ask this question, because I'm on the fence.
That's why they asked me.
They didn't ask you. It doesn't say, Dear Scott.
You just didn't print that part. It is Dear Scott.
See that little whiteout? Just
Yeah, I
scratch
did see it.
that. There's no whiteout.
There is a whiteout.
But the point I'm trying to make is that I'm on the fence if spirits, what are demons and what are ghosts, or if they're all demons. I don't know. We have been constantly deceived on our investigations, thinking things are spirits, and they ended up being demonic. And you just can't trust any. So I guess it really doesn't matter. They shouldn't be there, period.
No.
Demonic always will infuse more darkness, depression, fear, paranoia, all those negative feelings.
Yeah, where the ghost is going to be probably more of a regular occurrence as far as the same thing.
Right.
So let's say you have, a scratching on the wall. Well, not even a scratching on the wall. I don't want to say that.
Demons do things in threes.
They
also
threes.
do things backwards.
Yeah.
Yep, turn things upside down backwards and very odd things like that.
But our experience has been if what we think is a ghost entity is more doing the same thing every night or on a regular basis. They don't change a lot. They keep things pretty consistently the same. So if they're, like a residual type thing, it's just the same thing all the time. It's like, okay, yeah, every day at this time this happens, and that's all that ever happens. Nothing more ever happens, but it's the same thing. Always see an apparition, but that's all we ever see. Nothing ever happens.
And the basis is if there's a spirit haunting you or your house, it shouldn't be there. It's not good for you, whether it's a good ghost or it's a demon, because it uses up your energy.
Well, yeah.
Demons can pretend they're ghosts.
This whole good ghost idea that our Bible tells us that those that are in Christ rest in peace.
Right.
So if they're not resting in peace, well, it doesn't
not a
mean
good
they
thing.
were bad, but it doesn't mean they were good enough to rest. So for some reason they're in limbo or lost or stuck in a realm or whatever.
Yeah.
And, whatever they had did.
And we can't help them. It's not like we
Yeah.
could say, go to the light and put a little stuff around your house and they're going to get sucked up into the hole. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's what June bugs are.
What?
They're always going to the light.
All bugs go to the light.
The June bugs are relentless.
I know.
Bam. Bam.
Okay, Scott.
What?
Yeah.
That's all they do.
I know.
Oh.
All right. So if your house is haunted, don't talk to it. That's the number one rule, no matter what you think it is. and just look for those key elements. And either way, ignore it, don't give it energy, and I would pray because you don't want it there. What made you stop doing paranormal investigating? And how is supernatural investigating different? Hector J. from San Jose, California.
Oh, look at that. He rhymes. Hector J. from San Jose. Yo, man. Cali.
C.A. All right.
On my way
So,
to Cali.
what made us stop doing paranormal investigating?
Cali. I'm on my way to Cali. Yo, man. I don't think so.
Are you done?
I always do that when I hear California.
You do?
Always.
You do, actually. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
A lot. Maybe not always, but a lot.
So, well, we stopped doing paranormal investigating when our goals were always to help people get rid of these things. And when we realized that paranormal investigating doesn't entail getting rid of them, just investigating it, and we realized that we didn't have any power or authority to get rid of the spirits, so we stepped out of it for a while and did a lot of research and study on all kinds of things, religion and, New Age stuff, metaphysics, just so that we could get a grasp on what's what and the common denominators. And we decided to, investigate supernatural things because it was all tied in. Everything's tied in.
So we found truth, too.
Yeah, and supernatural has to do with the spiritual aspects more than, we don't care to prove if spirits are real. We don't need an EMF meter. We know that stuff's real. And I can sense it. I don't need anything electric. But we want to get rid of things. So our goal is always the spiritual aspect. How is it affecting the person? What can we do to make it better? Yeah. So that's the difference. And I think that's pretty much why we stepped out, don't you think?
Well, yeah, we're still there to help people, and we'll still go on we don't call it an investigating. We don't need to go investigate it. We'll need to go, well, there's a certain amount of investigation. The fact we go there to make sure, hey, is this all real? Is this really happening? What could be causing this?
Right.
But the ultimate goal is always to, what can we do? I mean, as I've said before, going to the doctor is great, but if you leave without any type of medicine or cure or exercise or something to do, what was the point of going?
Yeah.
You mean, I went to the doctor, he confirmed, I'm sick and dying. Well, that's great, but what can we do about it? Well, I don't know. Kind of a useless little mistake, like going to a psychiatrist, yeah, you're whacked. See you next week.
Because we had a lot of clients that just wanted us to say, yeah, you have a ghost. Well, who is it? What do they want?
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And they thought it was cool.
Yeah. Well, we thought it was cool, too, for a while.
For a while.
Because just knowing that there's something else out there, that's exciting. But now that we know, and we've seen also the dark stuff, it's like we want nothing to do with it.
Dark side saying nothing is real.
I feel like I'm married to a jukebox.
How I feel.
That's what you're like. You're like a human jukebox.
I'm a jukebox. Jukebox hero. Okay,
I was going to have you read the next one, but it's sort of long. So.
Yeah, and I can't read more than 2 sentences.
Okay. When I was real young, this is definitely an email. When I was real young, I used to hear voices and see spirits a lot. I also had very vivid and strange dreams. It went away at around 7 or 8 years old and returned when I was 12. And at that time, manifested itself in a way that was very scary. It stopped again when I was in my 20s. I'm now 39, and it all started up again. What is going on? Why does it happen on and off like that? Kate from Pennsylvania. Well, let's see. So, obviously she's sensitive to something.
Something, but the other on
we don't
and
have
off
enough,
again.
And we also don't have enough information either. Has this always happened? Is it just one particular incident? Or, like one particular spirit, one particular dream and stuff like that.
Yeah, is it the same? Is there obviously she's talking about a very young age. What's her history in her family? Was there occult use, different stuff going on? They opened up a gate for her. Maybe because she did nothing about it as far as
energy,
giving it energy or giving it attention, it wasn't able to go any further, and it's kind of like, oh, let's try that again. And a few years goes by, oh, let's try that again.
Well, we're also real susceptible when we're kids, right? And so, and also things
at 12, I can see.
Well, she's saying it started when she was real young first. So I'm thinking maybe if her parents, like you said, if her parents were involved in something, it can fall on the children And when it doesn't get what it wants from the child, I mean, I would bet that she was really a sickly kind of kid, because when spirits are around little kids, when they're sick a lot. And then it goes, like you said, it probably went away because she wasn't giving attention. But when she was 12, it says at that time it manifested in a way that was scary. That whole puberty thing, for some reason,
always is a lot for.
I think has a lot to do with energy. And I know there's a lot of parapsychologists who believe, it sounds gross, but you know how when you're in puberty you sweat a lot and all that.
That never happened to me.
No, okay.
I only perspire.
Oh, well, I glistened a lot when I was 12, and they believe that it has something to do with the moisture, but I'm not into the science aspect of it, so I don't know.
Sweating is moisture.
Right. They're saying that's why there's activity, though. It's paranormal activity more at puberty because you sweat more.
Because they have moisture?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. So, but I'm just saying, and now that she's older, you could have come in contact with somebody else or done something, said something that sort of sparked it up again.
You gotta wonder if there's anything in her life that she's done or said or read or watched or anything that would, it's like the door's been open but kind of just cracked. And once in a while it's like, ooh, an opening, let's run in.
Right.
So there's some more information we need. And I think Kate will contact us and we'll be hearing more from Kate.
All right. So I'm just looking at other messages here. Let's see, what else we got? Okay. Oh, here's got a couple long ones, I guess. It says, sounds like me. Okay, so I messed with the Ouija board. I know, bad idea. I didn't think it would work. Nothing too major has happened since then, other than I now get really bad dreams occasionally. Well, hello, that's bad enough. I've been listening to your show, and I know I could have opened a spiritual window. Since nothing really happened, should I do nothing and hope it never does? Or is there something I can do to make sure I'm protected?
Repent and be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ, each and every one of you.
Yes. Brian R. from Wyoming, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that. Well, here's the thing. You messed with the Ouija board, and you're saying that you're having bad dreams. That's bad enough right there.
Yeah.
And
well, everybody has bad dreams, but his are bad enough. Obviously, he's saying something about it. So
right, but he's saying all of a sudden now it's started up.
Yeah.
So that could be the start of it, because a lot of times when we're sleeping, we just did one-on dreams. That uses up our energy, and so.
Yeah. Well, the adversary knows weaknesses we have, or other things that are going on in our lives that might bring us down enough that they can bring a little bit more heavy into your life and weigh you down even more.
Yeah.
It's like, you opened that door a long time ago, but I'm just going to wait until there's a time. And, so you don't know what's going on, financial problems, whatever's going on, that all of a sudden, let's have a few bad dreams or something like that. But repentance will take care of all things.
Yeah, it's totally true. That's something when I did I practiced a lot of witchcraft. I did a lot of dark things. And when I turned to God, in my mind, I'm like, everything's going to be better now. And it really wasn't. It changed, but it changed still in a bad way. So I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized I never said I was sorry. Sort of like if you think of it as being in a relationship with somebody. So you and I are married, and let's say you do something wrong, because I wouldn't. So let's say you do something.
I love story time. Come on.
So let's say you do something wrong, and the day goes by and you never apologize, and you just start talking to me like no big deal, like it never happened. It's always still going to be festering in me. You got to acknowledge what you did, and shuts the door.
Yeah, well, the idea too is often people will say, well, gee, don't you forgive that person, or don't you forgive them? And my answer will often be to somebody who'll say, I can forgive them. But they never asked for it.
Do they want forgiveness?
They didn't ask forgiveness. They never said they were sorry. And so
And I know, like,
I'm not going to hold hostility, but on the other hand, did you ask for it? Why?
Well, light will always conquer darkness. So when you are asking for forgiveness for something, and you just say, if you pray and ask God to forgive you for using the Ouija board, despite whether you meant to or not or whatever, it will shut the doors.
And hopefully you do not have this Ouija board anymore.
Good point.
Even if you haven't used it, it doesn't matter. Ouija boards, we got some stories about those. They like to find their way home, even when you throw them out.
Yeah, they come back.
They do.
Yeah, you got to burn it.
That's one story you've never shared.
No, but we are on an upcoming episode.
Okay. Yeah. We'll wait on that one then.
Okay, so here's another one. How do you feel about video games with demons being the main characters? Do
Bad.
they... What was that, a sheep?
Bad.
What are you doing a sheep for?
I don't know.
That was funny. Well, don't they say, like, demons are like goats? You know, like...
It's bad.
Oh, you are so weird. Okay, do they open up what you call demonic doorways? Here's my real question. I thought you just asked a couple, but okay. My nephew plays them, and he doesn't have any spiritual problems.
Yet.
Last month, my son convinced his dad to get him Devils May Cry. I guess that's a game.
Boy.
And last week, he started having these nightmares where he wakes up screaming. He says there's nothing... He says they're nothing, but I don't think it's a coincidence. However, my nephew isn't affected. Why do you think some people are affected and not others? Michelle from Providence, Rhode Island.
Go on this for weeks on this one here. I mean,
All right, have at it, Scott.
I mean, and I'll start in. I'll allow you to come in when you need to or feel the necessity. But
like right now,
first of all, I mean, sometimes there is futuristic events. There's on the fence. The adversary knows different things. Okay, he knows.
When we say adversary, we mean like the
devil,
devil,
and demons, and the dark side. Dark side.
Evil.
But anyways, they know certain things. So let's say the nephew here, he seems to have no problem. He plays this all the time. It's like, well, you're already on the wrong side of the fence. You've already been doing dark things. You've got a dark thing about you anyway. There's no need to bother with somebody who's already on our side.
Right.
So now we got this other kid. He's, I can do this. Well, now he starts having bad dreams. The bad dreams could be coming from God. God's saying, here's what happens when you play with fire. You get burned. Okay? And he allows it to happen. He allows the bad dreams because God will allow bad things to happen to make you think about what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, okay, you see what happens when you do this? This is what happens. I'm not going to protect you from this. I'm going to let you feel a bad dream. I'm going to let you be scared because when you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out.
Good point.
And so when we have all this stuff, we're watching these, and I can go on and on about these videos. My son plays video games. We do not allow him to play anything that has anything that's with stealing and killing and demons and shooting. I mean, what are we thinking? Set our kids in front of a television and let them play with demons and shooting things and robbing cars? Just think about that for a moment. It's just a game, really? And it does turn into real life down the road. Let's look at all the shootings that go on. We just found out last night, watching the news, that we haven't gone more than 8 days in this country this year without a mass shooting of 4 or more is considered a mass shooting in this country. More than 8 days. Now,
that's
you
bad.
can say, well, that's not, that's this and that. You know what? It all adds up. A little here, a little there, a little this, a little of that, and wow. Now you have a problem. We just started allowing, just a few years ago, allowing marijuana to be distributed, in some of these states and stuff. And you say, well, that hasn't been a problem at all. Look what it's done. Wait. The problem will grow. You never can fix a problem with another problem. You can't take a game, call it a game, put evil inside of it, and say it has no effect. It will always have an effect. Always. And so, this other kid that's playing this, it's not a coincidence. It's going to continue. He's being warned right now to say, stop doing what you're doing.
Well, yeah, you are bringing in dark things. Period. And some people are affected, some aren't. Like you said, it will eventually happen.
Well, society has allowed us to believe that, that won't hurt you and that's okay, and don't worry about that. Here, play. Why would anybody in general? I mean, the builders, the government, anybody else say, oh, yeah, sure you should set your 5-year-old in front of a game and let them go ahead and, just steal a car or maybe kill a few people. I mean, it is just a game.
Yeah, but, I mean, she's talking about the spiritual aspects of it more.
There's a spiritual aspect. It's in your mind. It becomes, there's always going to be, what you put into your mind in this realm is going to affect the other one.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So here you are in this realm. I mean,
don't they say the eyes are the window to the soul?
Right.
So what you're putting in, and I also think too that, if you picture like, well, my kid crossed the street 10 times, he never got hit once. That doesn't mean he won't.
Right.
If he stops looking both ways, he's not.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
exactly. And you could
are,
say, yeah, the neighbor crosses the street all the time blindfolded, never got hit. My kid crossed the street one time blindfolded and got hit. That's so unfair. Really? What were you doing?
Yeah.
The other kid was just lucky.
Yeah.
So
it sort of stinks. But yeah, so, video games in general, you got to be careful what your kids are watching. But if it has to do with demons, the fact that they are okay with it, that's not good. Do they open what you call demonic doorways? Definitely. Here's my real question. And then she says, why? But those nightmares are always, there's a difference between nightmares and night terrors, but nightmares can still be demonic too, because it's, you got to be real careful.
Fear is always going to be a result from a level of sin or something that's going to affect you. And so God can allow these things. We can read the Bible and it says, and then God sent an evil spirit.
Yeah,
you
God
read
sends
these
evil
things
spirits.
And say, what? God does this? God's in control of all things. He'll send an evil spirit to straighten you out.
And he did to me.
And he sent evil spirits in the past to different countries around to come against Israel so that Israel would fight and repent and turn to God and all sorts of different things we can go on with that. But take it as a warning.
Yeah.
That it's time not to do those things. And kids always want to do something. But if this world doesn't start turning around and saying, no, you're a child and you'll just do what you're told and
I don't know, because I'm a mom too. We've got 4
You're
kids, and I'm thinking.
Well, I'm a dad.
I know.
What's the
cool?
chances?
I know. I'm telling you, but I'm thinking, why would you? Aren't you concerned that your kids want to play games with demons? I mean, like that's scary and dark. Because there should be. I'm not telling you they have to play about flowers and rainbows and marshmallows, but. I mean, I don't know. It's like, oh, well, he just wanted to watch a little porn. He's going to have sex eventually one day anyways. What's the big deal? It's like, no. I don't know. I just think it's weird. So, Okay. Oh, you can read the next one. It's little.
What would be your idea of a perfect show episode? And this is from...
Pat's Meow.
Pat's Meow.
Twitter.
What would be the idea of a perfect show? Well, one, for me, it would be probably just containing me solely.
Oh, jeez. Whatever. And mine would be not.
Or what would your idea of a perfect show be? Or is she saying, like, a specific episode we already had?
No, I think she's asking, like, for now. I would say one that contained a muzzle, the size.
No.
And... well, I would like one, which is what we're going to be doing soon, call-in show, definitely, so we can talk to you guys, not just by chat.
Well, I could run downstairs and I could call in.
No, that's not
then
fun.
I could run upstairs and answer.
That would be freaky.
Then I could,
That'd be weird. So for me, and then just talking about people's experiences and sharing, that would be a perfect show for me. What about you? You always have perfect shows. You sing in the middle of them and you do your Beetlejuice. Yeah, man.
I like conspiracy stuff myself.
You want to read the next one? Because that's a short one, too.
Yeah, short ones. That's a big word, though. Ectoplasm. I don't know if I can say ectoplasm.
Oh, you just did, though.
Oh. Okay, what's this ectoplasm, and what do you think it's real? And this is from...
Maybe...
No,
Maybe baby.
Maybe baby.
No, maybe baby.
Maybe baby.
41. Oh, my. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ectoplasm is a physical, I don't even know the word, how to put it. It's a physical trace of what people believe are spirits. And it's guppy.
That's right. It's a manifestation of the negativisms combined into the quantum physics of the lateral part of the for stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, I do believe it's real because before I even knew what ectoplasm was, we experienced it. We didn't know what it was. And
it was called last night's supper.
Oh, gross. Oh. No, it's like it's like a watery, phlegmy more clear kind of thing. And it's if you've seen a spirit or whatever, and then there's something left over afterwards, or even if you don't see it and you know, but gotta be careful. I mean, it could be your cat sneezing and stuff too. But I mean, we've experienced something where we saw a spirit and it left a trace of it, and it's happened 2 or 3 times in our
Hey, don't think we
years.
didn't call him back and tell him, hey, yo, spiritism, go over here and clean this mess up.
So I definitely believe it's real. What it is, why it is, I don't know. I definitely know it has to do, and I don't know if they're leaving it on purpose. They had to go, or maybe
they had a cold.
It could have had a cold. Could be.
We don't know these things.
Or maybe it's has to do with realmage thing going on, or we don't know what it is.
Realmage is a word.
It is now. I used it. All right. Next. I have a good friend who was killed in a car crash in April. Another friend of mine has been seen, and that's in quotes, in dreams. This friend of ours who died. Only he looks different, with weird yellow eyes and no teeth.
Okay.
Wrong page.
She says.
She says he has his hands out at her, and sometimes it's in a sad way, and sometimes in a scary way. I guess you can't answer for sure where people go when they die, but we were wondering if there is something we can do for him, or is it not him? Then how does she get it to stop? We're both listening. Thanks, Amelia, Arizona.
That's a mess.
Okay. Really sad that your friend died, and I'm sorry.
And I
can't imagine.
It's also, there's a serious tone to this.
Yeah. Here's the thing. In our experience, and like I always say, we've had plenty, personal experience, my entire life, experience as investigators, and when you're seeing, whether it's in a dream, a vision, or a apparition, something, let's say it manifests looking like a person, but it has 1 or 2 traits
that are different.
That are not right. Not different, like, he had blue eyes, not green. But, like, freaky.
Yeah, here she says
yellow
eyes. Okay, that's...
And no teeth. That's demonic. And so I don't really know...
There must be some set of a set rule with God or something like that. And these are things, we don't know everything. That if a demon is going to manifest itself as another being... Mm-hmm. It's limited to being, it can't be a replica.
But the Bible does say that it can manifest as an angel of light. At least the devil can, not his minions. So, but maybe it's an angel of light, but then it turns sort of like in that movie Poltergeist, the original.
Well, does the angel of light doesn't mean a physical angel of light either. It may
that's
be
true.
A perspective of him or what he does or something good.
Yeah.
But in this case, with what's going on here, she wants to know what's going on. Well, definitely, I think this is probably demonic. Now, the thing is, now what?
Right. Well, I would say email us, and then we can talk to you further on it. But for the show's sake, I guess, in any case, you need to just pray. Your friend needs to pray before she goes to bed. Why her? I don't know. Is she sensitive to spiritual things? Has she been practicing stuff that open things up to come in, pretending to be your friend so that she'll talk to it? There's so many variables in it right now. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't like the idea of this at all.
Yeah, so if you could email
looks like
us
something
again,
that if something isn't done, you don't take some steps,
it gets worse.
It could lead into something else down the road.
I call it the spiritual snowball effect. Even the snowball gets bigger and bigger, and that's what can happen. So
I would guess her friend's probably pretty scared in these dreams.
I would be. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would be too. Yeah.
You hear a lot about when people say someone they love passes over or dies, and then they dream about them, and it always seems to be the same. They're on the other side of the road, or they're on the other side of the hill or something, and they're always calling them or whatever. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's God's way of giving you some kind of peace. But when you're seeing something that's sometimes sad, sometimes scary, if it's your friend, he's not going to come to you and scare you.
As soon as we add fear into anything, we're losing. We have a fear of God, which is a respect and a level of God, and a fear of Him and what He can do and the power He has. But when we start putting in fear of the kind we're talking about here, we're into demonic type stuff. Because
Exactly.
God says many, many, many times in the Bible, fear not, have no fear, fear not, for I'm here. Fear not, fear not, fear
Yeah.
not, fear not, over and over and over throughout the entire Bible. Because he's like, fear's not something that he was, in creation of. This was something that the devil had. It's like
Right.
he instilled fear, and so fear. We have that. We need to do something about it.
Yeah, so we can help you further. Just is a lot more than what we can do on air, but
Maybe don't go to sleep no more.
no, don't be scared either. Don't be scared. If you pray, God will protect you. But that's, and I don't know what your faith is, but I don't ever care what anybody's faith is. That's really the only thing that's going to help you and make you feel better. Trust me. Okay, what's your favorite books on spiritual growth? What's your take on Christian psychics who try to help people get in tune with their spiritual side? Patty T. I must have cut some stuff off here by accident as far as states, because that happened somewhere else too. Well, okay, my favorite books on spiritual growth would definitely be the Bible, because that's the only one that's ever proved itself correct. I was a big Sylvia Browne follower in the past, Rosemary Altea, but I do like, because of the work that we do, Pigs in the Parlor.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of that one.
And also one of my favorite ones for spiritual warfare and dealing with demons is Demonic Strongholds. It's by Kurt Koch, I think, Koch. And it's such a great book because it gives you a lot of stuff about mental illness and how we're affected and spiritually oppressed and stuff. But I have this rule that I won't read any other books until I've read the Bible, which I did, so now I'm good to go. But you have to know the Bible, because the Bible is going to be the ultimate thing. A lot of people think, the Bible, I'm not religious, but it has so much spiritual stuff in there. It's so cool.
There's
it gives you
so much of
answers,
everything in there.
and it's pretty neat. So Christian psychics, that's like an oxymoron. That's like saying I'm a Caucasian Chinese person. Like, it doesn't make sense. You can't.
You can't be both.
Well, I mean, you could try. God says that if you are speaking to the dead or practicing, if you're a seer and practicing that stuff, that you're not doing his work.
Right.
And so you can't be a Christian and not do his work at the same time. We make mistakes, and we all make mistakes. But what I'm saying is Christians don't practice that stuff.
Yeah.
I was a psychic once for a company and made a lot of money, and I thought I was a Christian. But come to find out, you can't work for both teams.
No.
You can't play for the Packers and the Bears. You can't do it. You can't be Jay Cutler and Aaron Rodgers. It just doesn't work.
Who would want to be Jay Cutler?
Exactly. Who would want to be a psychic? Woo, go Green Bay. All right. I just had to throw that in there. So, but yeah, I guess those are the books that we really...
Yeah. I mean, you know me, the only one I'm not much of a reader to begin with, but the Bible's the only one I will read. So.
There is one by John Arcovio, too, called The Spirit of Jezebel, and it's a really good book if you want to get into, the spiritual aspect of depression and fear and stuff. And also, what is his name? Peretti. Is it Daniel Peretti or Mark Peretti? I always forget his name. But in His Present Darkness. Now, those are books that has nothing to do with spiritual growth, but it has to do with, like, the demonic, and it gives them names, not regular names, but it tells them stories of how they interact with their lives in a fiction way. Fiction. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay. Hi, Scott and Heidi. Hi. Hi. I really love this podcast. I'm always laughing, but I learn a lot from what you talk about, too. I was curious as to automatic writing. My stepmother does it, and she says she gets all these kinds of messages from spirits, quote unquote. Where do you think she's getting what she's writing down? Ghosts, demons, or is she not playing with full deck? Courtney S., Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Unfortunately, she is playing with a full deck. And the deck has a few more cards in it than I think she's realizing.
Tarot cards.
Yeah.
Automatic writing is you're just shutting yourself down to be open to spirits. It's a mind Ouija board type thing.
Basically, yeah. Instead of using a board to communicate, the demon is using you to communicate and write what it wants.
And I'm sure there's people that maybe try it and are just, I'm getting something and then nothing's really happening. I'm sure there's people like that too. So not every person, but if people do this on a regular basis. You know, how many times are you going to open your door and say, come on in? A stranger's going to come in.
Yeah. I mean, you think about somebody taking you over so that you're able to write.
Yeah, forget
something that wants
that.
to be said, yeah.
No way. Come on, women. We want control. We want the power. We don't want nothing taking us over.
Yeah, women.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not a woman.
Never shut your... But you're on our side. Because you're...
No, I'm a guy. I can't be on your side.
You can... Yeah.
I can be with you like, yay, go Chiefs or whatever, but I can't.
Chiefs.
I just had to say something.
We beat the Chiefs. All right. So, yeah, it's definitely real. It's a real practice, and it does work. I've never been able to do it, which is weird because I'm so sensitive.
I have
to that
automatic
stuff.
writing. I can do automatic writing. It's called a computer.
Yeah, you talk into it. You want to read the next one?
I love these shows because Scott is so stinking cool.
No.
He's so awesome.
No.
And what?
It doesn't say
No?
any of that. I'm looking right at it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
It says, I love Heidi.
No, it don't
Yeah.
say that. It says, I love these shows where people ask questions. Thanks.
Welcome.
My question is, can a person and a place be haunted?
A person and a place. Well, yeah. Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
I mean, one and the same, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the haunting only, you can't really haunt a place because furniture doesn't seem to get too upset by it. People are haunted,
Yeah.
right?
They're
So
the ones
things
that-
can't really be haunted. Places can have hauntings in it. We see this a lot of times in, you go to these old places where they did zapping the brains and stuff.
Oh, sane asylums.
Yeah, sane asylums
Where they
or
zap the
old,
brain.
or old, especially when the Civil War went on and
Yep.
they had the camps and different things like that and the prisons and the jails. It seems like when there was a lot of wrongdoings
Yeah.
to somebody else, there seems to be a level of hauntings that most people can go there, check out, and
Traumatized.
they can say, yeah, it's haunted. So there seems to be a level of unrest,
Yeah.
which very well might fall into our ghost category. It seems to be but once again, it'll be a repetitive thing. And say every time you go down this hallway, or maybe not every time, but often if you go down this hallway, you'll see this happen, or you'll see a Civil War vet walking through, or something like that. And it's residual. It's something went wrong, and somebody was done wrong,
Yeah.
and so the place, has this leftover people or unrested souls or whatever it is stuck in some sort of warp and or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, and only we can be haunted, is like being scared of it,
Yeah.
but it's not like so it's at a place.
But if a person is haunted, like not
Yeah.
like people say, oh, every place I move to is haunted. No, it's you.
That's you. It's not the place.
It's like that. What are
Yeah.
the chances? I was one
And
of them.
more than likely,
How come every time we're here, people are shooting off fireworks?
oh well, because we live in the hood, man.
No, we don't live in the hood.
Oh.
I think it's just a party every Friday night around here.
Just stay in. When you hear the gunshots, just stay in. That's what I learned.
so funny.
Just stay inside. That's the best thing to
It's
do.
fireworks again. It's like,
I don't know. We get fireworks like all year round around here. It's like it's 4th of July someplace.
there was a sale at the dollar store. Okay, but so you can have people who are haunted because they're constantly around,
Right.
like
no matter where they go.
Yeah. And so, or you could find somebody who's just a sensitive person to spirits, and they move into a place that has that energy.
And they're able to
right.
sense
So it can
it.
go either way. But if a person's haunted, that means that there's something up, and it's going to
A
cause...
place that is haunted, that kind of just stays there.
Right.
Mental institutions and all them different kind of places
Mm-hmm.
where wrongdoings. If you go there, you could experience. That doesn't mean you couldn't draw something out, but if it's a haunting, we talk what we think is ghost, they're pretty much stuck with where they're haunting
Right.
or where they're at. Demons can follow you anywhere you want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Spirits can't. Ghosts can't. Like,
Yeah.
you can't take your cousin Jill
They
with
seem
you.
to be
you know?
stuck into locations.
Yep.
So I hope that helps.
Where were we at?
Oh, a very wow. Whoa. I can answer this though.
Okay.
What do you think came first? Was it the chicken or the egg? It was the chicken.
It was the chicken. The chicken
God
came
created
first.
all things, and someone would have had to hatch that egg, and it wouldn't have hatched without a chicken. So the chicken came first. God just put them here.
That's right.
That's right. They were
Because
just
if it was an egg, someone would have stepped on it, would have died, and
Just
we wouldn't
like
have
Adam.
chickens.
Adam wasn't born. Adam was put here.
Spoke. Yeah.
Eve wasn't born. She was put here.
Oh, that was an easy one. That's Mark L.
But you have to
Markle.
have a
Markle.
a level of faith and belief and believe. Otherwise, this chicken and egg thing could go around and around and around. They say the world is millions and millions and millions of years old. We believe it's about 6,000 to 7,000 years old, and that's it. And there's plenty of scientific evidence to show that I am correct. But then again, I always am.
Oh, whatever. Okay. Hello. I absolutely enjoy this show. Glad you opened up a forum for questions because it's nudged me to ask one I've had a while, but just never went ahead to email you about. I'm a clinical and child psychologist. I really enjoyed your episode on kids and the paranormal. I'm also a Christian, so I know there is more to the mind than just our brain function. I work mainly with kids, teens, and see a lot of occult use. So we have a doctor listening to us? Well, I feel pretty stupid. Oh my God. Okay, I see a lot of occult use, so I have a question about children. When they are young and make the mistake of using a spirit board or summoning a demon in some way, are they susceptible to being haunted and having spiritual oppression, or are they given a quote-unquote free pass, so to speak, because of their innocence and ignorance? F.G. in Missouri.
Well, we could go into some deep scripture with you, but basically the protection and the salvation of a child rides on a parent.
Until they're of accountable
age. So, you can find that, I think it's in Timothy, right?
Oh, God. I
Pretty
can't
sure.
remember
But anyway,
nothing.
so now I know we're getting a little deep into Christianity, but you claim to be a Christian. You should know that salvation is riding on the parents or the parent of the one who is saved according to the scripture. So, you're asking me this. Now, if a gate's opened, the gate's opened. Ignorance can be ignored and protected to some level.
Well, God will protect you or protect them
but
to a point.
overall, are they protected? No.
Well, no.
No,
Ignorance.
we are
doesn't
all God's
close
children.
spiritual
Just
gates.
because one of us is 80 and another one's 5, just children to God.
Right. Yeah, there's
Just
no
children.
age. Right.
But, I mean...
Because I'm 44, but, I mean, I'm really like 23, if you want to think of it that way.
So, no, I don't believe... ignorance... I mean...
Well, there's grace. I mean, God, with
There is
me,
grace. There's plenty of
I
grace,
practiced tons
but-
of stuff growing up, but God allowed all the things, because when you do, if you take one step, you get a step further. So I took one step into darkness, and I dealt with what was in that darkness. But then God used that to bring me out into something better.
Yeah. So there was a case where it was used to good.
And I think God will do that for everybody.
Scripture supports that all things
Work to good, yeah.
work, together that love God. So, God knew your heart and mind, and he says, you know what? I know you've made a lot of mistakes and done a lot of things wrong spiritually or whatever like this, but I'm going to use every one of them to my glory and good. Now, this child here, we don't know what this could be used for, what's going to be going to happen to it, at what level. If she has no protection through the family, mom and dad or anything like that, or no spiritual
Well, I don't think she
growth
was asking about anybody
like that,
particular.
then this just a child like this could be susceptible to a lot of things.
Well, sure.
Or nothing.
But I'm a strong believer in you speak hope, you speak light, and that's what you're going to get. If you tell,
Right.
and that's why I don't like certain people who claim to be Christian, and it's gloom and doom and judgment, you're going to hell and stuff. It's like, whoa, I don't remember Jesus ever saying
There's
it like
always
that.
hope until you're in the dirt.
Yeah, there you go. And I even then, though, I mean, the soul is always alive. So I think there's always going to be hope. So never give up on that. So,
But it's when these children do something like this, and what she's saying, they don't even know what they're doing.
yeah.
But God knows, and
God
where
knows
they're
their
going,
heart.
and what they're doing, what their heart and mind is.
Gosh, I was
So
doing
it could open a door, but if they're down the road seeking, if God has a purpose for them,
yeah.
it could be used to His good, and they might have to go through some stuff.
I think I was doing spells at like 9 years old. I remember when I was 12 and I was in my apartment buildings, I met these kids and I was showing them how to put people in trances. Their mom found out. whoa, I was the witch on the block. It was like, whoa, stay away from her. But God, and a lot of bad things happen from darkness, but you can be brought out. So if you want to. Yeah, like you said, God knows your heart. Okay, you want to read the next one?
My question isn't so much paranormal, but I was curious what each of your favorite subject in the paranormal is to study and talk about. This is Greg from New York City.
Or the state New York.
Huh?
New York.
New York, that's right. He didn't say it was a city, was he?
But it could be. We don't know.
Well, we don't know. There's a lot of Gregs in New York. How do we know which one we're
Well, this
talking
one's got
to?
2 G's. 3 G's.
Oh,
in his name.
3 G's. Oh, wow.
Greg. So.
Greg.
Okay, you can answer yours first.
My favorite subject?
Yeah.
No, I don't have one.
In the paranormal? You just like to talk about any of it?
Yeah.
You like to talk about anything that leads you to God?
Oh, yeah, I'm always...
That's supernatural, spiritual.
For me, it's always biblical stuff that pumps me up. But
yeah, mine is how occult use gets tied into our physical ailments, like fibromyalgia, like migraines, night terrors. So how occult use and stuff like that affects us physically. That's my favorite topic, at least.
Yes.
So, because I study that and.
That's a lot of words on this next one.
Yeah, I'll read this one.
I can't read more than 2 sentences.
Very cool and timely that you'd have this opportunity for people to ask questions. My fiancé and I listen every week. We're getting married in December and have been looking for a home. I think we found...
You're not living here!
I don't think they're asking that.
Oh, okay.
I think we found the one we both really like. Affordable, perfect yard, great rooms. But here's our dilemma. My wife is very sensitive to spiritual things. Scott, I'm sure you can relate to my pain. Ha ha. I, however, feel nothing. My wife says as soon as we walked in to look at this house, she felt scared. She didn't know why she loved it, and so do I. But she said she got cold, her heart raced, and felt like we were being watched. We really wanted to put an offer in, and our in-laws are helping us with the loan, so we're kind of being pressured to make a decision. What would you recommend, yay or nay? Help ASAP. D and A in Florida.
I'm going to let you hit this one.
Oh, okay.
Because this is something you can kind of relate to. You've been able to walk into places back in a time or go into certain places and be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're not staying here, or we need to leave, or I want to leave. You just had that feeling. Now here they have an opportunity to get a little help financially. They're just getting started, and they're like, wow, this is a great place. Fits all things, except, and this is a big except.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't bring her in there and then have her scared.
Well, I guess you can do one of 2 things. I personally wouldn't move there. Period. If she's sensitive, chances are you're gonna find a house, 1 out of 5 that have something, maybe, But
yeah.
I wouldn't get it. But I'm not saying you're not supposed to. I'm just saying I personally wouldn't. But if you decide you want it, what you need to do is, you need to go in there. You need to pray. And you need to ask God to cleanse it and bless it. And, if you bring somebody in and they bless it, that's blessing your home to keep it safe. But if your house isn't already safe, it doesn't get rid of anything.
Well, they talk about your house, too. Your house dealing with your soul, your spirit, not just the house itself.
Right.
There's so many different levels of Christianity in this world, and they say, oh, I'm a Christian. And there's very few Christians when it comes right down to it. If you really want to stick to what the Bible actually says, word for word, what you're to do,
right.
The limit, there's not near as many as you think. So, yeah, it could be cleansed, but really to be truly cleansed and taken care of would have to be done by them. And they would have to be in a place spiritually with God that would allow them to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not anybody can come in there. You're not going to get the priest down the street at the little Catholic church going to come in and throw some water from the faucet in there and think it's going to be fine, because it won't be. In
movies, that's so common.
It doesn't work. Okay, the salt won't work. Oregano or whatever any other junk you can think of, it's not going to work. So yeah, what are you going to do? I think they're going to kind of stuck.
Yeah, I wouldn't move in.
If there's going to be another house. There's always going to be something else.
But you don't want to move into this house.
Yeah, you can't start out that way.
Yeah, I was just going to say
because with someone like her, if she's very sensitive, And let's say she says, let's just bite it. I can deal with this. This could lead her into depression, sickness and all sorts of things. And it might take a little while. But if she's already sensitive to it, that's one thing I guess it took me a while to learn. Always being somewhat headstrong, believe it or not, is I've had to take time to, and going through the investigations and things we've done, is be able to listen to my wife and know that when she says, okay, here's what's going on, and I don't feel right about this, just because I don't feel it doesn't mean it's not there. And so I've had to sit there sometimes when I feel nothing. Everything looks perfect to me. But if she's not happy, well, how can I be happy? So I have to step back and say, okay, well, that it is what it is. Or we're not going to go do this thing, or we're not going to buy that thing because there's something wrong with this, or we're not going to this person's house, or I'm not going to this investigation. I don't feel right about it. I really don't give any argument anymore. I guess there was a time in the beginning where I would say, well, come on, Heidi. I mean, shouldn't we, Now it's like, you know what? I don't know everything when it comes to that side. And sometimes if you're going to, have some trust in a relationship, that's where I have to draw my line. It's like, well, I got to trust her on this stuff I don't know, because there's plenty I know that she doesn't. But this is her area, and so I'm just going to have to trust it and say, okay, well, I guess in your case, if it was our house, I'd say, well, this really sucks. I'd really like to have this house, but, I can't start it out this way.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's just one of those things.
And it's going to stink having to try to
It's
explain it to
always
your
going to be
in-laws.
something
We
that-
can't move there. It's haunted. It's like, what are you supposed to say? But better be safe
it is
than
what
sorry.
it is. It's going to work out, It always does. It always works out.
Yeah, trust
You're going
us.
to have so many hills and valleys in your life and ups and downs that you just...
This has now turned into Dr. Phil.
It's just the way it goes. You just learn to brush it off. Brush it off. Or just go sweep it off.
It's shake it off.
Shake it off. I knew it was something like that.
You want to read the next one? It's the
You
last
read
one.
it.
My question is for Scott. What do you do when you're not podcasting? Work and leisure. You're flippin' hilarious. And I love you and Heidi together. Jenna, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
What do I do? Actually, I got a degree in Harvard. No, I'm a general contractor. I do just about anything to a house that you can think of, even things I don't want to do anymore. I do that. As far as leisure. What leisure? I'm a contractor. Self-employed. There's no leisure. None. I work. If I'm not working there, I'm working here. If I'm working here, I'm working there. We do go camping where I work to take everybody out to have a good time.
Yeah.
And
It's work to have fun?
Yeah. Sometimes. Especially when the girls were younger,
Yeah.
Come on, Dad, let's take the boat out. Can you take me tubing now? Can we go here? Can we go there? Sure. How about this? How about that? How about this? Can we go here?
Get worn out. We're done,
again,
man.
Again. Yeah, I still have a 12-year-old here.
We podcast for leisure. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I think we're going to wrap it up. If we don't have any more chats on Spreaker, then I guess we're going to come to the end. So, next week, we're going to be taking on the occult and the Ouija board.
We're taking it on, brother.
16th, we're going to do an open mic night. We're going to actually have a call-in show. We're going to do call-ins through Skype.
Ooh, they'll be able to see us?
No, I'm not letting anybody see us because
I'll be making faces.
Yeah, right. But we'll hear them. And the 23rd, we are going to have special guest host, I was going to say Jason. Who's Jason? Justin and Eric from Paratruth Radio. We're going to be talking to them about Aleister Crowley.
Paratruth Radio.
If you want to check them out ahead of time, that's paratruthradio.com. They got a really good podcast, good show. And on the 30th, we are going to do a Halloween podcast on Halloween itself.
Yeah.
The history of, et cetera, et cetera. But until then, you can listen to any episode anytime via Spreaker.com and iTunes.
Like Wednesday. Did you hear Wednesday's episode? For those of you that didn't hear our midweek live broadcast, because we're not dead, it's the information that you're going to obtain in Wednesday night's podcast will surpass all of our podcasts combined.
For International Podcast Day.
That's right.
Yeah.
We weren't playing, man.
No.
Yeah, brought it home. You know what I'm saying?
We had
come on.
We had the most downloads on
what?
What do you call it?
What?
On iTunes. We had the most downloads on iTunes for that episode. Isn't that funny? Because it was International Podcast Day yesterday.
International
Wednesday.
Podcast. Every day has an international song. What was
I
today?
know. I think it was International Cookie Day today.
You're right. It was. I think it was. Because I hear it on the radio a lot. Like, today is international. I'm like, trying to keep up with them, you know.
Oh, there's so many. Some days have 2 or 3 things. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to have a cookie
Yeah,
and you got to wash with shampoo.
There's only 365 days, so they're kind of like, there's more than 365 things.
Put everything in.
How are we going to get it, you know?
Oh, it's National Wear Different Color Socks Day. Eat a cookie, slam down a coffee, and you can practice paranormal and podcast.
Together.
All
at
of
once.
it. All once. That'd be fun. Oh, okay. So, until then, I guess we're out
Now
of here,
it's
huh?
time
We are on every
say
week,
goodbye to all our company. M-I-C.
though. Yeah, Mike.
See you real soon.
Oh, Scott. please.
K-E-Y.
Can I-
Why?
can I talk?
Because we like you.
Are you done?
M-O-U-S-E.
You know how lame that is?
Hey,
That is
lame.
so lame.
Well, say, all right.
Oh, no.
All right.
Here we go.
You people, let me know if you thought it was lame.
Very
Just-
lame.
You can. It's a quick little email, whether it was lame or it just added to another level of coolness.
I can tell you that answer. Okay, so every week we are live. Friday nights, Spreaker.com, 7 o'clock Central. And you can always join us on Twitter at TSR Parapod. And you can, tonight was a question and answer forum, but usually we have subjects. Check out our other episodes.
Till next week. I want you to stay sassy, stay classy, because we are done.
This world's a tortured place to be. So many things to torment me. And as I stumble down this road, it takes a toll. I need an intervention. But I can see it coming.
Some things just can't be explained.
And that's all, folks.